Hey, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Slappin Pickle podcast. We hope you had a good week. I know ours have been kind of long. Started a new job, and still transitioning out of my old one. So my last day is actually tomorrow. But goddamn, it's been a hell of a week for me. How about you?
I have finals next week, so I'm going to school full time and still working.
We have finals next week.
I know. He's helping me with a class because I'm stupid with numbers. So he's helping me with accounting because I'm just like, eh. But no, it's been going good. It's been a good week. We've been getting rain. So, the humidity's settling in right now. But we needed the rain here in Texas. So we're good. So, excuse me. Sorry. So today's episode, some people have suggested this. Let's talk about cheaters. Why'd you fuck that person, Yeah, so we're going to talk about that because we do have history of that. Not that we're proud of it. I know it sounds like we're all proud of it. Like, we cheated. No. Sorry, that came out wrong. We do. It did. We do have history of it. And if you want us, we'll get really down to it, like what was going through our heads, what was going on.
I mean, we're not habitual cheaters, She's making it sound like we're fucking swingers and shit.
Yeah, so in our previous episode, we talked about how we met. And I know it's like, they're always talking about themselves. No. We wanted you guys to get the foundation of our podcast episodes because that kind of transitions over to the next ones. Why we're doing this podcast. So in the previous one, we talked about how we met. We met online and I met him and fell in love with him and I cheated on my boyfriend with him. And before that, I had cheated with my boyfriend with somebody else. If you guys are watching this and you know who I'm talking about, because I've only had like 3 boyfriends in my life and one of them has been serious and he's been my husband, the second one. If you know who he is, he knows about this. We actually had a serious conversation a few years back. We sat down and we talked about it. So I kind of laid out the truth on the table. We had closure. Yeah. So he knows about this. So don't feel like he don't chisme. No, he knows about this. And
I mean, you could tell him anyway. We could always use another viewer on our podcast.
But yeah, we're going to talk about today. It's like, why do people cheat? What goes through your head? While you're doing it, like, don't you feel guilty? Like, what's going on? So we're going to talk about our experiences, what was going through our minds, what we're doing the dirty deed with other people, So do you want to start off or do you want me to start from a girl's perspective? It's up to you. His is more detailed because he's a guy. Guys think very differently than women. You want me to start it off because ladies first?
Yeah, let's do ladies first because I'll probably have some points to rebuttal.
Yeah, you can tell me. Fill in.
I'm gonna sit back and drink my beer and make faces.
Yeah, so I have only cheated on one person, which was my boyfriend at the time. I've never cheated on him. Scott's honor, whatever you want to say.
That we know of.
No, I'm serious. I love him to death. I can't do that. I've done it before with my ex, and I remember it was so hard to do it. So I found this guy online and he was giving me the attention. My boyfriend at the time, he wasn't living here in San Antonio. Our sex life was very rare. I needed attention. I was being selfish. I'm going to say that. I'm going to be very honest. I was being selfish. I wanted attention.
So in layman's terms, you needed some dick.
Yes. I was trying to sugarcoat it. So this guy was reaching out to me and I'm like, yeah, I'll meet up with you. And I think the worst first time to pop my cherry in cheating because he was like the poorest, getawayest guy ever. Like, I don't even know why bitches do it now, and now I know because I fucking did it. Yeah, so I had broken up with my boyfriend because that's how guilty I felt. I feel so like I can't do this. Like, if I can't be with him and do this. So I broke up with my boyfriend. I went on a date with this guy that I fucking paid for because he didn't have a fucking job. Not a big deal. It's $1.
Did you pick him up too?
Don't judge me.
Go on.
I know. So I picked
Uber before Uber was cool. Anyway.
I picked him up, went to the movies, bought him fucking popcorn. And we had sex in the parking lot, and I'm just like.
So did you have to put on a strap on? I mean, might as well have all that
right?
Shit you did for him.
I know, bend over, baby. So I when I told Dan, he knows the story because we're very open about previous sex. Skip to andale. So I remember I went home and I took a bath because I feel so dirty. I remember I had never been with anybody else except my boyfriend. So when this other person's in there and I'm just like, yeah. So I went home, took a shower, and even then I called him after because I felt so ugly about myself. And he was like, why are you calling me? I thought we were broken up. I'm like, I just want to see what you were doing. He's like, I'm doing fine. Yeah, I know. Like my cock-shaped pillow and shit. So I did. And that's when I got back with him after that because I felt so ugly about me as a person. So we got back together. But then this guy was still giving me attention and my boyfriend was still not in town. So I reverted back. I'm like, yo quiero atención. I need some dick in my life. Creepy something from the back. I know that's why you saw our faces like, what was that? One of the kids' toys. I know. Scared me. God.
This is how you know this is a live podcast.
We're not going to edit this now. Yeah, I know. Yeah, are you good done? He's already buzzing too because he's had like 2 beers.
Let's go back to talking about, dick.
Yeah, so the second time when he called me, I went to his house and I remember sitting down. I'm like, I should go home. And he was there. He was like telling me all these sweet things and rubbing my leg. And I'm like, I'm already here. Nobody's watching me. Nobody's going to find out. It's like 2 a.m. Nobody's going to know. I did. And it didn't, I was like, I'm okay with it. Went home, slept through the night, nothing.
Like a baby.
Yeah. The following 2 days, I'm like, he called me up. Yeah, sure. I'm like, otra vez. And asked me why it got easier to do this. And I felt such a shitty person because my boyfriend would call me once in a while. ¿Qué estás haciendo? I'm playing bingo with Letty.
She's getting nailed.
No, I was out at, I'm gonna be back home late. That's what with you though.
So you were at Chuck E. Cheese loading up on tokens for homeboys so you can play skee ball and try to win you a bear with your own money.
Yeah, no, this guy, like, it was mainly in the middle of the night, but it's just like I told him, I feel so shameful myself because my mom raised me better than that. So you guys know my mom is a very strict person. She raised me to be proper, to be a good person, a good woman, a good, individual in general. So when I started doing this, it was eating me like consciously. Like it was like, this is not me, but I couldn't stop. And I'm being very honest with you guys. I couldn't. I liked that rush of like not maybe getting caught, not getting caught. And I did it several times. And I think I did it for like 6 months. Yeah, I did. No, 5 months. It was
I thought it was short. I thought it was like 3 or something.
No. It was like 4 months. Sorry, I don't know how to count. 1, 2, 3.
We're getting older.
Yeah, I know. It was about 4 months, and even then, I remember my boyfriend would tell me, "Why are you talking to this guy? You need to stop talking to this guy." I would get so defensive. I'd be like, "You don't tell me what to do. He's my friend," and he's like, "You need to stop talking to him, and you want this relationship to work." And it's so ugly.
He just lost his aunt like 3 years ago, so he's going through a really tough time. Just give him a break.
And like I said, guys, I am laying out who I was back then. That's not who I am right now. But I remember that I got so pissed off at him. Like, you don't fucking tell me who I can be friends with. Why? Because I was fucking with him for fucking this guy. Yeah, and he was like, if you want this relationship to work, if you want to be together, you need to end it.
Wanna be somebody.
And I remember we were going to a party and he was like upset. He's like, so what? Is it me or him? Allah. And I'm just like, why the fuck am I making this so difficult for myself? I should choose my boyfriend. This guy doesn't have a job, doesn't have a car, doesn't have a home. He's a fucking what's it called? A referee for some kind of kid sports that makes like $100 in a week. Why the fuck am I choosing that? Dick wasn't even that good. It was just the attention. That's what it was. It was that like somebody wanted me other than my boyfriend. My boyfriend wasn't giving me the attention and time. I didn't feel sexy. I didn't feel wanted. I didn't feel like, when you watch 365 Days of the way he looks at her. You saw like 2 seconds of it.
The sex?
The way he looks at her like, I want to fuck her. That's the way I wanted to feel. And my boyfriend wasn't giving me that. Nothing, you know.
So you wanted him to look at you like you were an order of mini tacos de asada.
Yeah, ándale, con pastor, yeah.
With some fucking lemon. Fuck yeah.
So, and this other guy was like, hey, come on over. Like, he wanted me. And I'm like, yes. But he was such a fucking loser. To this day, I told him, I fucking hate myself for doing that. But it got easier for me to do it. I liked the attention. It was so easy for me to like hide it. Like, I don't have a boyfriend, this and this. And I continue doing it. And like I said, finally I stopped because I met him. And I realized like this guy's he was a gentleman. He was a cool guy. He wasn't being perverted. He wasn't like, hey, ven conmigo and suck my dick. No, he wasn't doing that. He was like, yes. So I started talking to him more. And this other guy is like texting me. He's like, how come you're not answering my texts? How come you haven't come by? And this is and this. And I'm just like, I've been busy. Así le dije.
Because she's with me, bro.
Yeah. And that's because I wasn't fucking him yet. I was just talking to him. And he was just like, how come you don't want to hang out? And this, like, do I need to stop by? I'm like, don't fucking stop by my apartment, dude. Like, seriously. He was like, what's wrong? And he started getting not aggressive, but he was like, you know what I mean? So I remember I blocked him.
So with all that you just said, what made you cheat again? Because you cheated again, but this time it was with me. Because
I actually felt a connection. It wasn't with, I almost said his name, Billy. With Billy, it was more physical. It was more like, literally close your eyes and just get the attention. With you, I wanted to be with you. I wanted you to like talk to me like I was your girlfriend.
So you wanted the girlfriend experience.
Yes, and he did. He gave me that, I could have long, like we said in the last episode, I would have long conversations with him.
I let you put your hand on my chest, remember? Pillow talk. I know.
But yeah, it was that I always tell him, like, it's so cheesy. Oh my gosh, please guys, don't hate me if I'm being too like but the first time we had sex, it was pretty much, you know what I mean? It was like, oh my gosh, that was so beautiful. It was feel so different. And it's like so cheesy because I'm not a cheesy person, guys. I make fun of that shit. I'm not just like, this is stupid, turn it off. But when I first slept with him, I was like, I want this for the rest of my life. I like the way it felt emotionally and physically. And that's why it was so much easier for me to continue doing it with you. Because it was a completely different type of feeling. Like I said, with Billy, it was more wang bang, thank you, ma'am, me voy. You know what I mean? Even then,
leave some money on the table.
Andale, pretty much borderline.
I need some gas money.
But him, he was like, come over. You know what I mean? Come over. You can see me eating my ramen noodles. You know, and stuff like that.
Don't talk shit about my. We do not want to get into that right now. We're talking about cheating, not food.
Not food. But yeah, you know what I mean? It was so much easier for me to do because I knew how to lie. I knew what to say. My boyfriend at the time wasn't paying attention to me, so it was so easy for me to just say like, hey, I'm gonna go to sleep. Okay, well, good night. It's 7 hours later I went to sleep.
So let's ask the $1 million question. Did he deserve to be cheated on?
No.
Did he deserve to have his heart ripped out of his fucking chest?
You're gonna make me cry because you know how I am.
But it's cause and effect. That's how we justify things like this in our heads. You don't give me attention, I'm going to get it somewhere else. That's very, very common and typical from a woman's point of view. With us, with men, it's more like a game. Let's see how far I can go before I get caught. Because since the time that we're young, we hit puberty, something triggers in us where we're like fucking jackrabbits and we want to fuck everything in a short skirt that moves. We're not thinking about consequences. We're not thinking about heartaches and heartbreaks. Sure, we'll get that prize girl that we always wanted to date. Cool. And then we wind up having sex and it's great because you get your first taste of it. Then what happens? You want more. It's like a drug. And you don't care what's going to happen. You just want to get it. So you carry that with you. And you don't understand what happiness is in a relationship when you're that young. So the first time you cheat, it's usually because you miss that thrill of having somebody new. Where you don't have to work hard to get a relationship. When you're courting somebody that you want to date, man, you pull out all the stops, man. Bells and whistles, everything. You hold the door open. You touch the small of their back as you guide them through the parking lot and into your car, your piece of shit car, your mom's car, or whatever. but you work at it. Then when you're cheating, there's no effort involved. I mean, there's a little bit, but not in the same lens, you know.
I'm not crying because of what you're saying. I'm crying because I.
Oh yeah, yeah. You know, and when I cheated my very first time, you know, I felt guilt. You know, I mean, I had fun when I was cheating. You
don't think about that while you're doing it, but afterwards it's like shame. You
don't think about it when you're doing all the positions in your crazy mind that you always wanted to do. You know, that you saw on the Channel 99 Playboy channel. You know, you're not thinking about any of that stuff.
You know, even when I was doing that, I didn't think about that. I was just in the moment, and I didn't care about anybody but myself. That's why I was there. I was there for me, nobody else.
And so after that happened, you know, I felt that guilt. I told my girlfriend what I had done, and you know, we argued, we fought. I think we stopped talking for a couple of weeks, and then we reconciled and got back together.
Why did she take you back? We'll get into that, but why would she do that, knowing that you fucked her over?
I mean, my initial reaction would be because she's an idiot, but I'm sure she had her reasons, and the typical reasons are because deep down, you don't want to be alone.
Were you begging her, like, baby, please, I'm sorry, I won't do it again? Did you do the whole spiel?
I mentioned it once, and I think that was it. I didn't actually beg.
Maybe she was lonely.
I did beg one, though, but, you know, she was on the heavier side. She was chubby, you know, her teeth weren't the greatest. You know, her boobs weren't the biggest. You know, she didn't have the greatest body, but I was very, very attracted to her, and you know, I did love her. We were together for 3.5 years, but I cheated because I could.
So what you're saying is that you could love somebody and still cheat.
Yeah.
Well, I'm pretty much that. I'm answering my own question because I loved my boyfriend, but why did I cheat on him if I loved him so much, right?
Well, you weren't looking for love. You're looking for attention. You had love. Yeah. I had love, but I was looking for just something new. That thrill of flirting with somebody and dating them and taking them out and
the butterfly feeling.
The butterfly feeling. You kind of lose that when you're in a relationship or when you're in a marriage. You become complacent in those things, and you forget what those things feel like. You know, that's why a lot of people make reference to, oh, you know, we need to go find ourselves. We need to reignite that spark because that spark is missing. And when you're young, you're not thinking about that spark. You're just like, once you've had a taste of cheating, you want to keep doing it.
There's no strings attached when you're young. No. I'm getting hot already. When you're young, it's like you don't have any kids. You don't have any car payments you're sharing or any credit cards or any banks or anything. You're doing your own thing, you know. So it's so much easier to detach yourself from, like, if I get caught or something does happen, it's okay because you just go on your merry way.
And after a while, it just became like a game to me. You know, I'm a very, very friendly person. And it's a blessing as well as a curse. Because sometimes I'm my own worst enemy. Because in my friendliness, I'm actually flirting. But I don't realize that I am. Because in my mind, I'm being friendly. You know, for example, I might go on one of my friend's Facebook pages and say, hey, you look really good in that dress. You look nice. And I'll mean it in a very genuine way. But I'm a married man. Why should I be going out of my way to contact somebody? Say that. And that's usually what sparks that little fuse. Because if the woman on the opposite end, she can just say thanks and be done with it. But maybe she's seeking that attention too. And then it becomes a conversation.
I think somebody said it was called like an emotional affair. That's what they call it. When you're flirting and you have this emotional connection, there's no physical affair. It's just more emotional, and that's where it continues on. It's like ongoing.
And this is how it happens. It's like a long fuse that's attached to dynamite. It ignites, and then it starts to move. Start getting into conversation. You're like, oh man. Then something in our brains is like, oh shit, I like this woman. I've always liked her. I've known her since high school. God, why didn't I get with her then? And your mind just goes down this fucking rabbit hole.
Well, it goes down the, who's gonna know if I do it, it's just gonna be a few minutes. I'm never gonna do it again.
And the question at the other end of that, what if we fuck better than my girlfriend, or just better than my wife? But I'll never know if I don't do it. So I'm gonna go fucking do it. That's what goes through a lot of guys' minds. That's what went through my fucking mind. Because we, for some reason, we're always after the next best thing. There's always something better. Case in point, iPhones. For those of you that are iPhone users, thank you. You're the smartest people on earth. But think about it. If you have an iPhone 11, you're going to want to upgrade to the iPhone 12.
It's newer.
Because it's new. You're going to have that brand new feeling of a brand new shiny iPhone that has like a smidget of faster RAM than the other one. It's better than what you had, and it feels great. Same thing applies when men see women. We're visual people.
The thing is, if you have self-control, if you see like you need to stop yourself and be like, is this worth it? Is this worth the risk?
And there it is, risk versus reward. Is me risking my family, my wife, my 3 children, my home, is that risk worth it?
I take care of him. I told him, I go, nadie te va a aguantar. I told him that because I do a lot for him. I go, I clean, I do small things. I take care of the kids. I do so much. I told him, you think some other bitch is going to do that for you? You think some kind of like girl's going to be like, ¿sabes qué? I'm going to wake up early and make you taquitos for breakfast. Or I'm going to fill your coffee. I'm going to go buy you coffee. No, everybody's different. Yeah, it's good in bed. But do you really know that person? What if they're shitty people? What if they have anger issues, but they're good in bed? Like, really, you're going to risk your whole life, your whole being, your life, because you want to go and fuck some girl or some guy for like 10, 15 minutes with, that's including foreplay. Is it really worth risking
some of us, it's like an hour. I'm not trying to brag, but
with the nap time in between.
Pillow talk.
But yeah, no, you know what I mean? It's so different for men and women. Men, I think it's more physical. I think it's like you're up to that chase. You're like that race.
It's usually a physical attraction that drives us. And we use...
But when do you guys stop? When do you say, I can't do this anymore? Or you know what? I'm okay. When do you know?
And that's just it. It's when you reach that level of maturity. When you're finally content with your life and where you want to be and who you are. Sometimes those things aren't important anymore. Risk versus reward. I'm happy with my family. No matter how upset you might make me sometimes when we have our arguments or we disagree, it's not ever going to be enough to drive me to another woman.
I think people might find excuses like, you know what? She makes me mad all the time. I'm just going to fuck somebody better. Yeah. And I think that's what it is with some men, is that they find an excuse. They find a reason to justify why they're doing it. Yeah. Like women, they do that too. It's like, I'm so unhappy. I don't feel sexy. He doesn't make me feel good. I worked with somebody who was having an affair with somebody who was 20 some years younger than her.
Half her fucking age almost.
And this guy did not have a fucking career. Her husband had good things going for him. He had a business.
Dude made some good money.
Yes, he had a good lifestyle with her. And I'm like, you're gonna go and fuck this donut maker down the street? What's he gonna offer you? Unlimited donuts? Donut holes for the rest of your life?
Jelly of the Month Club.
Exactly. It's like, why do you risk that? You know what I mean? What happens if your husband leaves you? He's gonna be able to afford your, nice Lexus car that you have these huge payments on, your makeup, your hair, your lifestyle. You think he can afford that on his donut salary?
Yep. And if the basis of your divorce is adultery, you ain't getting a damn fucking penny from that other dude.
And I'm not saying you shouldn't stick around with your spouse because of the money, but still, it's like you're being taken care of really good, but you're seeking something else. And even then, that person that was so young, so wet behind the ears, like he was barely starting his family. It's like, dude, what are you doing with an older lady? Well, you're gonna change your diapers in like 30 years? You know what I mean? Like, I don't understand that. But that's another topic.
Well, I mean, there's a lot of men out there that get attached really, really quickly. And that was always my problem when I would cheat. Is I would get attached because I would start seeing things beyond sex. I would misinterpret signals beyond sex. And those things would drive me to keep doing it with that person. But hey, it's all fucking fun and games until you get caught. Then all of a sudden we get caught and we're apologetic. Oh, baby, I was drunk. You know, we make up excuses, you know, as to why we did it. And we start begging. Love you. I really love you, because it puts things in perspective for us that, oh shit, what I have is really great.
Yeah, but can't you already stick your dick somewhere else, though?
And that shouldn't be the case. We should already know when we have something great.
You're saying guys are stupid.
Yeah, we are. Because we're visual fucking creatures. That's why we go and buy the iPhone 13. We go and buy the PS5, even though we have a PS2, 3, and 4. We upgrade our cars.
So when do you say you stop, though? When you find that right phone, the right case to your phone? Yeah.
It all boils down to self-control and how honest you are with yourself.
You don't want to lose what you have.
Because let me tell you, it's a very harsh truth. There is always somebody out there that is better for you. Always. Sometimes you will meet them. Sometimes you won't. Mm-hmm. That temptation is always there to cheat. I have many opportunities to cheat. Everyone does. But I have that self-control to not act on those impulses. I'm not going to flirt with that lady. I'm not going to look and wink at that lady or go up to the bar on purpose to grab a drink in front of that lady, or much less buy her a drink. I'm going to avoid that situation altogether. I might look and smile, do a gentleman's nod. Hey, that's as far as it'll go, as it'll get. But there's always something better out there. But it's your choice, your control, to be really honest with yourself and say, yeah, I'm happy. Mm-hmm. I don't need that. I don't need that new phone. I don't need that new PS5.
And I think the girl's perspective, like when you cheat, is because you're looking for the opposite of what you have. Like I've like I said, I haven't cheated on you, but when I was looking for when I was younger, it's like I wanted somebody who was from the streets, who was kind of ghetto. I don't know. Well, he wasn't even like that hood either. He was just a fucking loser. But it was the opposite.
A lot of women want that. They want to live out the fantasy, the same as a man. Some women want a man to be aggressive with her, or others want, I want to be swept off my feet. You're going to want to be showered with lavish dinners and nice little trinkets and gifts that your husband may not do for you, or your boyfriend, because they don't have the means, or they don't see those things as important.
Well, in my part, I'm trying to, because you're saying that, I'm trying to like self-analyze here. Me, it's like, what did I get out of it? This guy, like I said, didn't have a job, didn't have a car, didn't have his own house.
You were a sugar mama. That's what you were.
And it's like, it makes me wonder, like I always told you, why did I do that? What good did I bring? I think it was to the attention. He would hold my hand. My ex didn't like holding my hand because I was short. And he's like, you make my arm hurt. So this guy would hold my hand.
Not that short.
And I think what got me was like, he kissed me in the forehead one time. And I was like, I felt that girlfriend, attention. And I liked it. And I wanted that. And I was lying to myself. I was saying to myself, this could make it work. I can make this work. And I'm like, this guy was a fucking pothead. He spent his $100 a week on fucking cheap ass weed. So it's like, realistically, like, what the fuck was wrong with me? But sorry about that, guys. The camera has this setting where it times out after a certain time. We're gonna get a new one soon. Just be patient.
If you guys would like to help fund that, I'm gonna put my Cash App information at the end of the show. We take donations. But
like I was saying, what was it saying? Oh, I think where it stopped was like, what the fuck is wrong with me? Yeah. Where I wanted that attention. The sex wasn't even that good. That's a sad part. Not only was I paying this guy's like food and giving him rides to fucking Walmart and HEB to buy food from his $100 he got as a umpire or something like that. I don't know. The sex wasn't even that good. And I'm like, why was I doing this shit to myself? And it was the attention. I like lying to myself that, you know what I mean? Like I said, this fantasy. And I continued doing it until I got bored of it. I was like, I'm over this fantasy. I'm going to move to the next thing, which was him. I started, but he was very different. You know what I mean? Like I said, it was very different with him, physically and mentally. So that's why when I did it with him, cheating, it was a lot easier to do it because I knew how to already.
See, and I cheated on my girlfriend at the time with you because I wasn't happy.
But you weren't getting any. She only gave you sex like 3 times in like 6 months or some shit like that, right?
6 months we were together, we fucked 3 times.
And he was still there.
But, you know, I thought it was glorious. I mean, you know, she was a big girl. She had all the things I liked, you know, huge tits, big ass, white hips, thick legs. You know, she was good in bed to me. But I don't think I was a good lover to her. Maybe. I don't know. I don't know what it was. Maybe she just didn't like sex. Or maybe she just wanted to dangle that in front of me so I could keep paying her bills, keep buying her meds. You know, I would skip my fucking car payments just so I could take her out and spend all my money on her and her stupid friends on the weekend. Because I was under that spell.
Pussy spell?
The pussy spell.
Which you weren't even getting. That's why I understand.
Which I wasn't getting.
That's why
just 3 times.
But he would tell me, we were friends, he would tell me that, like, oh yeah, like I'm gonna go see my girlfriend. And I would tell him, he was like edgy. I'm like, did you get any? He's like, oh, it's because she hasn't been feeling good, or you know what I mean, we haven't had the opportunity. I'm like, dude, it's been like 2 months already. Like, what's going on? And that's when he started thinking that she was cheating on him, and she was, remember?
You know, but I knew I didn't have a future with her.
Really? Because I remember you telling me you wanted to get married and have churches as your catering. I'm serious.
So once upon a time, I did tell her, yeah, I think I'm gonna move to Dallas with her, you know, because you know her uncle owns this trucking business or some shit, you know, hauling, I don't know, fucking manure from here to there. But I knew I couldn't be with this girl. That's not the type of person I wanted to be with somebody's fucking sugar daddy. Granted, at that time, made like fucking $12 an hour. Ooh, you know, I was really happy. I was proud of that. It's like double digits, you know?
Compared to
minimum
wage.
Man, you know. Yeah, but I cheated because I was very unhappy. But when I found out that she was cheating on me, I fucking lost my shit.
I remember. Yeah, I remember. You were talking to me on the phone.
Because for a lot of men, it's typical. Do as I say, not as I do. It's okay if I fucking cheat on you and not get caught, but if you fucking do it, man, I'm going to slash your tires. I'm going to tell your pastor at your church. I'm going to send all the naked photos to your fucking mom and your new guy that you're boning. We want to flip tables and fuck up the world. But it's a mess that we created.
But wait, if you do it, it's like, forgive me, baby, I'm never going to do it again.
That's where cause and effect happens.
Mm-hmm. But what happens if you continue being with somebody like that, though? Like, I don't understand women and men that continue being with their significant others and they're still fucking around.
They don't want to be alone.
It's like, baby girl, it's like, you deserve better. Like, I have a few friends that their significant other cheated on them. And they, you know what I mean, they are upset. And then they say, I'm sorry, baby. And they're like, okay, I'll take you back. And it goes back. It's a perpetual cycle. It's like, don't do that to yourself. If you know inside that this person is toxic, it's just making you wait. You're going to grow old and you're still not married. And this person keeps fucking around with somebody else. Move along. Or if they tell you like, baby, I'm so sorry. I'm gonna change, and they do, and they even propose to you and get married. I'm like, yeah, because that fixed everything, right?
Yep, and that's usually what the first thing a man will fucking say sometimes, you know, when we get caught cheating is, you know, you're going to propose, you know, because locking you in a marriage
get you pregnant
is proving how serious and strong my love is for you, just so I could cheat on your stupid ass 3 months after we've been married.
Yeah. And see, I think that's why I'm glad that the way things ended with my ex, because I have a feeling if nothing would have come out of this relationship, we were just fucking around, we were just, you know what I mean, sex friends, whatever, I would have ended up cheating on him again and again because I was so unhappy with him. And like I said, it's his fault, you know what I mean? He is who he is, you know what I mean? We have grown to be two different people, but I wanted something else. And I think if I would have continued to be with him, I would have just continued on cheating and cheating. I think would have made me a worse person. Honestly, I think it would have made me, I don't know, catch an STD or something, because I was fucking around. I met this guy. Let me tell you a side story. I know, I met this guy.
Side stories are fun.
I know.
Wait, does it have to do with cheating?
Yes.
Okay.
Because I almost did. Because, I almost did with this guy. He messaged me. He said he was a wrestler. He had $7 million pending his account in Bank of America to wrestle professionally. I was like, that's cool, guy, whatever. And I had the flu. And I told him, I'm going to Walmart. I'm going to get some medicine. And he's like, come on, let me eat your pussy. And I'm just like... and I'm like, tamo kuda. And I'm like, okay, I'm gonna go to Walmart and I'll give you a call. This guy went to Walmart to see if I was buying the medicine. At red flag right there, right? Shit. Yeah, and I remember I met him at a Whataburger, and I was like, I was really sick, guys. And I trust me, if I wanted dick, I could have gone it, but I didn't feel good. And he was just there. He's like, I'll give you money if you have sex with me. And I'm just like, I'm not a prostitute, but I'm like, how much?
How much we talking about, the fucker?
He wouldn't leave my car, and I told him, dude, I'm about to throw up. Like, I need to go back home. And he's like, I really want to have sex with you. Like I said, I was going through this phase in my life where I like the attention from guys, and I probably would have. I'm being honest with you guys, I probably would have. But I went back home and I went to sleep. Ask me why the hell I had like 93 phone calls on my phone and like 100 text messages from this guy. Where you at? Why are you ignoring me? Please, please, please. I'm so horny. And I'm like, dude, I was like literally almost like having to the hospital. I was so fucking sick.
You're like, here's a screenshot of my bank account. Come on.
Yeah, no, but you know what? That was a good lesson for me, because after that I was very careful. And that's why I've only had like I've had 3 sex partners in my life, and that's because I've been very careful with it. I'm not your piece of entertainment either, you know what I mean? So I almost did it with that guy. I remember he was just fucking crazy, but yeah, it's funny because when I used to work at a daycare back in the day, one of my coworkers like, oh, this wrestling guy was reaching out to me on MySpace. I'm like, wait, what's his name? And she told me, I forgot his fucking name. It was something Joker or something. I think. I don't remember. And she was like, dude, let me show you his picture. So this guy was a chubby chaser. He was like telling all the gorditas in that zip code where I lived at in Leon Valley.
Just hoping he'd find you again.
I know. He was texting all the gorditas. Like, he had all this money in his account. He was going to be a wrestler, and he like eating pussy and fat girls. I'm like, That's the way he was doing. It's funny because he reached out to like 3 of my coworkers, tan gorditas también. Like, yeah. Anyway, that's my side conversation. I almost cheated on my ex again, or my boyfriend at the time, but thank you, my guardian angel, that made me sick, almost made me throw up, because I think bad things would have happened.
Yeah,
I think something bad would have happened. So. I think it was just, yeah. But yeah, it's like I went through that phase, and when people tell me they're going through it, and I tell them, you know what, I can't even judge you because I did it, but all I can offer you is advice, because now I'm married, I have children, I have a career, I have all these things, and I love my husband dearly. It's like, don't fucking lose that shit because you're gonna get dick for a guy that's probably gonna nut in you in 2.5 minutes. Like, you didn't even exactly, like, did you even come? Like, was it even worth it?
My pull-out game is strong, baby. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, it's like, don't do that to yourself. It's like me, like I said, I'm mature. I could never do it. Even then, we talked about it seriously. Like, we're unhappy, we're gonna walk away from each other. Why would we do that behind each other's backs? And we know people who've done it. They've been married and they're fucking around, and they think nobody's gonna find out, but everybody knows except their spouse. And it's embarrassing because I'm like, dude, I know you're fucking married. I know your wife. I know your husband. Like. And I always keep my mouth shut. There's different ways of being a homewrecker. You don't have to be La Sancha to be the homewrecker. You can be the chismosa and be a homewrecker.
Ooh, so that's a very good question. You know, I don't want to make a whole episode out of it, but I'd rather it just be here since we're talking about cheating. You know, when you're friends, how deep does your loyalty go? because I know there's some women out there that they'll tell their chick friends, hey, if you see Bobby cheating on me, you better fucking tell me. I want to know. And they're like, oh, yeah, girl. And
but when it happens,
there's some guys that are the same way. You know, hey, bro, if you see fucking Mabruca over there sucking some dude's dick, you better come tell me, okay? If I ever saw that, if I had inside knowledge that you're cheating on your spouse or your significant other, this is just my view. It is not my fucking place to tell you, because what if they did it and they feel so guilty that they never fucking do it again? Never know. And maybe somewhere down the line they tell you, but it's been so long that you're so past those things that you can reconcile and get over it easy. I don't want to be that person that's responsible for wrecking your relationship, wrecking your marriage, causing you to lose your family if that happens. That's not something that I want to accept.
Yeah.
Because once you're all done crying about what happened to you, you're going to turn to that person and think one day, you know what? I would have been okay if you would have kept your fucking mouth shut. But because you told me, I don't have anything now. Mm-hmm. So I'm always going to feel this way. It's never my place to ever say anything to anyone if I know that they're being cheated on.
Mm-hmm. I'm the same way. I told him, I go, we've had an incident where I didn't say anything. I was just like, this is not my place. But it happened. Like, I swear I did not say anything that wasn't my place, because I told him, you can be a home wrecker in different ways, and I wasn't going to wreck nobody's home, especially when there's children involved. So, yeah, I know. Wow, this got like all derailed to a different type of topic. But, you know, I mean, it's part of cheating. It's part of what happens under the umbrella. You know, I mean, there's consequences when it happens. And that's why we're very careful. Like, we love each other. And I told him, I go, please don't cheat on me. Just leave me. Leave me first before you start fucking somebody else. I've never gotten cheated on. I know he has. Right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I was like, right?
Several times.
So it's like I said, not that I don't never want to feel like that. I hope I never do. But it's like I've done it to somebody, and I've seen what's done to other people that have gotten cheated on, and it breaks my heart. You know what I mean? Like I said, somebody close to me got cheated on, and I saw that person just crumble. You know what I mean? Then my ex, when he found out, you know what I mean, I saw him crumble. It's like it's awful to see somebody do that, and that's why I think earlier, you know what I mean, in the episode, I started crying, not because I'm like, oh my gosh, I have feelings for my ex. You know what I mean? I care about him. You know what I mean? I was with him for a long time, but I don't like that I hurt somebody in that way, because that's not me. And he knows me. People know me. I don't like hurting people who I care about like that. I think he didn't deserve it. Like, he asked me, does the $1 million question, did he deserve it? He didn't. You know what I mean? Yeah, he wasn't the best boyfriend. There was some shit going on and stuff like that, but nobody deserves to be cheated on, because he's told me it feels like shit. So that's why I was crying earlier, because that's not me. You know what I mean? I'm a good person. I'm not that of a shitty person. But, you know what I mean? I went through it. It led to where we're at right now, you know? So I can sit down and talk about it and have a serious conversation and be very honest to anybody. Like, yeah, we did it. You know, this is how we overcame it. This is the lessons we learned. And it's something we hope that we can teach our children when they get older. It's like, it's not an easy thing. You think it's all fun and games until you hurt somebody, and you never know.
Yeah, I've hurt a lot of girls and women, and a lot of them have hurt me the same way, you know, but I have this experience that I can share with my sons and teach them what not to do, and I can educate my daughter on what to look for, so that she doesn't believe everything that some random guy says because he wants to get in her pants. Mm-hmm. You know, I get to pass that experience on to her. And
if you're gonna do it, this is going to happen. You know what I mean? That's why the important is, like, if you do, because we've gone through it from point A to point Z. If you do cheat, this is the outcome of things, of your actions. Consequences, and ours was a positive one, because we ended up being with each other and remarried. But sometimes that's not it, girl. Bad things happen. Bad things can happen. If I've heard horror stories where the wife will come chasing, you know, in the sunshine,
and almost fucking kill you, or run you off the road or some shit.
Mm-hmm. So, but yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. I know we were like talking about it. We can go like a long time talking about this because we have a lot of stories. We have a lot of things we've experienced, but we don't want to keep you guys like these people never shut the fuck up.
Yeah. So if you're feeling, I like to say this a lot, if you're feeling froggy, go ahead and jump. But please share your feedback with us. If you have a story, if you've cheated on someone or you've been cheated on, or you have a totally different perspective of cheating, or you just think everything we said is fucking bullshit, give us some feedback. Send us an email. Comment on the podcast. We really want to hear from you because there is no right or wrong answer. Everything we said here is what happened to us and worked for us. But everybody's story is different. And I'll say something right now. It's going to derail all this fucking shit. At the end of the day, you got to do what makes you happy. I know it's some cliche bullshit to say, but the person next to me really makes me happy. He does. And those risks that I took have definitely been worth the reward because I have a wonderful family. I may not have a lot of money. I may not have the fanciest cars. I mean, I've got a nice truck, but those are just things that can be replaced. I'm rich in love, the love of my children, the love of my wife, and it's not worth losing for anything. So at the end of the day, do what makes you happy. If it means you have to cheat on somebody to be with your soulmate, to be with that person that just completes you because you know it deep down in your heart, do it and fuck what everybody else says.
Because life is very short, and you guys know that.
You only get one.
Mm-hmm. Live it, love it.
YOLO. So with that, friends and fans, we will say goodnight.
Yes. And also, we just wanted to mention it before we really completely shut off. If you still want information on our great friend, the realtor, Lauren, we still have her information at the end of the podcast. Hit her up, anything you buy property here in San Antonio, she knows her shit.
Yep, she goes above and beyond, and she'll go the extra mile for you, just like she did for us.
Beautiful paintings. Not this one, but a wall to put on there. But alrighty, guys, our next episode will be aired next Friday. That one's a little bit more.
What are we going to talk about?
Infertility.
Oh, shit.
Yeah. I promise I won't get too emotional, but we want to talk about it because it's a real thing. It's something that people don't like to talk about. We're going to talk about it because it happens more often than you think. Way more often. Ridiculous now and stuff.
And it doesn't just affect the woman. It also affects the man.
And we're going to see his perspective because a lot of people are like, Pobrecita, this and this. Like, does anybody ever talk about the man? They're not going through it physically, but emotionally. We're going to go into that. He's going to be very honest about it. So, yeah.
So if we make you cry, we're sorry. And if we cry, don't start crying.
Yeah. Like right now, I was chillona.
I guess we're going to have to put tissues here.
Alrighty, guys. Well, you have yourself a great weekend. Stay safe. And we'll see you guys.
Make good choices.
We'll see you guys.
Especially after this episode.
I know, please. No love, no glove.
And if you're going to unfriend us, see you later.
I know. Bye, guys. You have a good weekend.
Later.